And then when she really truly finds out the way you are, like you became deceiving, man. I think it's a problem, right? Because you need to be very upfront and transparent with who you are. Don't hold back. If she likes you for who you are, she'll be attracted for who you are. It's not what you bring. It's not your possessions. Right.
I think that's the stupidest thing that anyone can do is like pretend to be something they're not to get a girl.
Yeah.
Dude, that is dumb as fuck. Like, just be who you are.
Yeah.
Now, if who you are sucks, then change it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to remain being who you are if who you are actually sucks. Mm-hmm. But lying to a woman to get her to open up sexually to you.
Yeah. That's wrong, dude. That's wrong. Because you're leading her the wrong path right off the start.
Well, and also, even if you get her, there's no way you're going to enjoy that night with her.
No.
If the thing that got her to be with you was not who you really are.
Exactly. And that kind of brings me to this point too. It's like, I know a lot of guys who, and at the beginning too, man, to an extent, I was thinking the same way. And it was like, well, shit, I live this lifestyle, right? But she's used to this lifestyle. Like, I already unqualified myself because she's already there. But then it's like, I've learned over time that it's not about what you have. It's about, again, who you are, right? Because you can attract, she could be used to being taken out of certain trips, or she's presented this lifestyle and all this and that, and she's programmed to that, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that if I am who I am, I've been told in the past that like I've had these experiences, but I never got any substance from it. I never felt any kind of way from it. I was very bored. Like, the conversation was very dry. But then I have a conversation with you, and it's what I'm attracted to, is how you make me feel. And then on top of that, they see the potential, they see your ambition. That's much more valuable than somebody who's already well made and has absolutely no substance to the conversations or how they treat you and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that works on the attraction side, but I do want to mention that I think too many guys make the mistake of going after a girl that is outside of their league financially. Mm-hmm. And what you said is true.
Yeah.
She's going to be attracted to who you are, how you speak, how you treat her and all that. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, long term, it's going to be a failure.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get into a real relationship, because like, let's be real. If you want to have a girlfriend, you need to add depending on the city that you live and all of that, but let's just do average numbers, it's at least $1,000 added to your monthly budget.
Oh, yeah, bro.
At least.
Yeah.
And then if she's going to move in with you,
double
that.
For sure.
So if you are not in a position to actually take care of her, and people can talk about the 50-50 and don't simp out and like all of that, how... You can talk about that all you want. Yeah. Dude, the reality is you want to be able to take care of your woman. And if you can't do it, it's difficult. Yeah. I mean, you might get lucky and find a girl that is willing to make sacrifices or like be on the ride with you. But I think for most of the guys, just don't get into that situation. If you want that chick that is used to doing all of those things, she doesn't know the actual dollar amount, but she knows the feeling.
Yeah. So
you can get by, and maybe instead of taking her to the restaurant that is $200 for the dinner, you go to one that is like $120, and you can make it work.
Olive Garden. Yeah.
But Olive Garden, like when you compare Olive Garden to like any of the fancy restaurants, like,
yeah, I see what you mean. I see your point.
It's just not going to fly. Yeah. Maybe she's going to do it a couple times, but then she's going to not be comfortable. Yeah. The same way that if you like a certain type of girl with a certain type of body or face, you're not going to go with the ugly girl.
Yeah.
You might go out with her a little bit, but you might not see yourself with that girl that doesn't suffice your level of like sexiness long term. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think you're better off going after a girl that you know you can actually protect her, provide for her, be someone that she can look up to. That's better. You're going to be happier, and she's going to be happier than if you're ugly as fuck, you have no money, and now you want to date this model that is used to this lifestyle. Even if you convince her some way, somehow, it's not gonna last. And if it lasts, she's gonna go bananas on you, because then you're not gonna give her what she's looking for.
I agree. No, 100%, 100%. Like I mentioned, I had past acquaintances where they felt like that girl was out of their league. And one thing is having to date them, and one thing is having to just that one night stand type of deal, right? Of course. Now, if you land at 10 out of 10 on a one night stand, a winner, right? But even then, when you have, and your intention is to date this girl and she's used to that lifestyle, again, to what you mentioned, yeah, I agree. If you can't sustain that lifestyle and that's what she's looking for, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Definitely don't put yourself in that situation. But if she gives you different kinds of signs, in the sense that I'm not just looking for that, I'm looking for something real, and you can provide that, however it is that you got to provide it, and she sees that ambition, she knows you have the potential to do a lot of things, man, and you can come out on the other side, she'll stick with you. That's one thing, right? And how this woman was brought up, that's important, as to what she's accustomed to, how she was brought up as a child, and her upcoming, right, her upbringing. And so, yeah, no, to your point, man, again, if you can't sustain a lifestyle, don't put yourself in that position. 100%. Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to realize and then make the decision that, hey, we have to end this. Mm-hmm. I think it's difficult because you're trying to hold on to the idea of what could be. But when she is clearly not in the same trajectory as you, or looking for the same things as you, or just happy with what you can provide, you have to understand it and not let your ego get wrapped up into that and trying to make it work over and over and over. Like the moment she starts treating you not well, disrespecting you, not appreciating what you're doing for her, even if it's because she's used to something else, the moment that starts happening and you start seeing those problems, you just have to accept it, take the loss, and just like end it. Don't try to convince the girl of what you are giving her. And if it comes to the point that she says, yeah, this is not working anymore, I don't think we should stay together. If she's giving you those cues and saying those words, I think sometimes, and it happened to me, and I had to learn it the wrong way. I had to learn it the hard way, to realize, hey, it's just not good for you. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to go anywhere. Just have the balls to just like accept it and say, okay, this is not going anywhere, and let's move on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a lot of guys it's difficult for them to walk away from some certain things. And I feel that, what really holds you grounded as a man is to make sure that your values are intact, and to make sure that you understand what your true values is as a man. Because once you understand them, nothing can hurt you, right? You can walk away from anything because you know what your ultimate goal is. And one thing that I've learned, again, referencing him, Ismail, one thing that he told me that stuck with me: your vision and your goals have to be greater than your pleasures, right? And that's key, man. If you fucking are intact with that, you're aligned to it, you can walk away from anything, man. It doesn't matter how beautiful the woman is. Again, there's women everywhere, and people or guys are too programmed to say, no, well, let me try to work it out. To what you said, let me try to work it out. Why isn't she not, seeing what I'm truly trying to bring to the table? And it's, again, man, if it's dead, it's dead. Walk away. You know what I'm saying? Turn that page and go on to the next one. That's what it is. So yeah, to your point, I agree, man. A lot of guys, it's very difficult for them to walk away from certain situations. And I think when you're a very well aligned person or a man, and you know what your core values are as a person, you can walk away from it easily.
And I think it's difficult, mm-hmm. but it has to be done.
Yeah.
And every person, the thing with relationships, and like I get a lot of guys that message me or comment on like my videos on the channel, and that's a topic that keeps coming back and back. I can't really know for sure all the details, but
Yeah.
And if you're asking specific questions and you're trying to figure out why she's not doing this, or why she's saying this, or why do I feel like this, if you know, mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how much advice we give you. If you talk to 5 therapists, when it's done, it's done. And like you said, when it's dead, it's dead. Just move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Just move on, because the pain that you're going to experience when you keep trying to make it work is worse than the pain that you're going to experience when you accept it and just move on.
Yes, yes.
And you just need to have a couple heartbreaks to learn that one, and hopefully then that lesson will stay with you. And dude, the funny thing is that it doesn't matter how much you tell someone. Sometimes they just have to go through it themselves.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a situation like that, and my brother, like, I kept calling him and telling him this and that, and he's like, dude, just move on.
It's easier said than done. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, once you learn your lesson, I think it takes once.
So for some people, it takes more than once, right? I am thankful to have multiple heartbreaks throughout my 20s, right? I mean, I've really had maybe 3, but I'm thankful to go through all the shit that I went through in my 20s. You know, a lot of learned lessons more than anything. And I think it's important for a man to experience that. Right now, I'm in my 30s. I'm 33. So now I know what it is that I can avoid, what is something that I've learned to, you know, how to navigate through life, and what kind of chances I can take, what chances I can't take, those kind of things. And with women, it's similar, man. It's, again, yeah, you're allowing someone into your space and you're allowing them into your world, right? And in order for you to have a woman open up to you is to allow them into your world first. And so once that happens, they open themselves up, and out of comfort, out of, you know, you creating that safe space. But when things get to what you mentioned, where it gets really bad, and it's like you got to move on, you got to know how to fucking just cut it, right? Just move on to the next one. This ain't your first rodeo, right? I mean, you've been through this already, and those are things that you mentioned. You can go through therapists, you can go through your friends. They all have advice for you, but you already have the answer, you know, before you even ask them. So I think a lot of times it could be that reassurance of like, I'm doing the right thing, right? But essentially, you already have the answer for yourself.
Yeah. And hopefully you learn it early. If you can learn it in your 20s, you're better.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I didn't learn that until later, because I got married like at 21, and I was married for about 10 years, and then I got a divorce, and then I started dating. So I didn't start dating until like my 30s.
Yeah.
And it was different. Like, it was certainly different. And I think if you're young and you can learn that, it's easier. When you're older, life changed. There are different situations. There's living arrangements. There's a lot more that goes into like a breakup when you're 35 than when you're 25.
Yes.
Things are different. I think most people that struggle with that are younger.
Yeah.
Because the pain that they're experiencing of going through a breakup, they have never felt it before. So it feels like the end of the fucking world that that's going to happen. But also people go through it in their 30s, and there is different, and it hurts because of all these ideas that you create in your mind about that person and how you're going to have a life together. So like, they're equally hard.
Yeah.
Here, you haven't experienced it that much, so it burns. Here, you have had so many relationships, and you thought that, oh, this was the one.
Yeah.
You could actually like make it work, because now you're in a mode in life that you're more interested in having stability than you are having adventure.